So I'm currently at Yuchin's house, which is also my first stop. As you can see, it's still bright early in the day, and I'm about to see if he's awake or not. And I don't know why he's not out here waiting for me. He better not be sleeping.
Careful, baby.
Don't stop! Don't stop! Don't stop! Good morning, everyone. It is currently Sunday. As you can see, it is not snowing anymore. We're currently doing a very different style today. We're going to Lake Simcoe, Mitch's fishing hut, to do some ice fishing, and we're taking this 2019 Porsche Cayenne with us. As you can see, probably imagined all of our video from today is going to be from yesterday due to the snow, right? So we didn't do any review yesterday. We want to finish all the pretty much the cinematic shots, the B-rolls, and all the interior pieces here and there without me talking or reviewing the car yesterday, and do everything today more like a vlog style going towards the destination. Hopefully we'll catch some fish today, and hopefully you're gonna grab a lot of attention with the Pink Pig Livery wrap on the 2019 Porsche Cayenne. On the 2019 Porsche Cayenne, if you notice it from the exterior design, even though it's wrapped with the Pink Pig livery, that the overall body styles and the shape hasn't been changed that much, although Porsche did tell us that this is a completely brand new vehicle, right? I mean, for one, the headlights, they've introduced the 4 bulbs on the headlights, pretty cool, very unique, I like that a lot. The rear, you have an LED strip bar that runs across the entire rear bumper, and for the first time ever, you can get a set of 22-inch wheels on the Porsche Cayenne. Now, we are test driving the Porsche Cayenne S, which starts around 92,000 Canadian in the Canadian market, and the way they spec out this car, it's around 120K. Now, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the design of the pink Porsche livery, it came from the 917, which is a one-off vehicle that competed in the LeMan race back in the days, and recently, just last year, it won the LeMan 24-hour challenge race with the 911 RSR wrapped in this livery, right, in this design. Very cool. It was definitely a fan favorite at the event. There were 4 that competed in the race, but the one with the wrap or with the livery won the race. Pretty cool. And just because this year is the year of the pig for the Chinese New Year, they've decided to change all the pork cut or whatever into the Chinese character to celebrate with the Chinese community for the Chinese New Year. So it brought a lot of attention, media, and I think it was very interesting to partner those two together and create the celebration. Thank you. We currently have the navigation set up, very nice and crisp, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But overall exterior design, I think is still very elegant, very modern, but I wouldn't consider this as a completely brand new redesign, but more of a modern refresh into the current generation in 2019 or moving into 2020, right? As you've guessed it, there's different engine variants for the S and the Turbo, right? So with the S, we have a 2.9 liter V6 bi-turbo engine pushing out 434 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. So it packs a lot of activities for what they like to call it a family SUV, right? Definitely goes without a sporty element, especially you want to commute with your family and drop them off and then you can have a little bit of excitement for yourself, right? And this brand new 8-speed automatic transmission making everything a little bit more smooth, but also when you kick it on Sport Plus mode, it delivers just a little bit of lag, not too much, just a little bit, so you have that punch to it, so you feel more in tune with the car, and the car will respond to the way it's supposed to be driving in a Sport Plus mode, right? And when you punch this car, this car sounds crazy. It backfires, and the V6 raw power sound really shines in the Porsche platform, right? So you know what? I'm gonna put this on Sport Plus mode. Never mind, the speed limit is 50, so we're not gonna go too crazy here. But the overall driving experience and handling, it just fits and feels more comfortable. Definitely a lot more, I would say, family-oriented versus the Macan. So if you've ever driven the Macan I would still say is more based on a sporty, performance-oriented. Nonetheless, all of the Porsches are born on the racetrack, right? So we can't let go of the racing heritage across any of the Porsche vehicles. It doesn't matter which car you're sitting in, it will always have the racing, I guess, hard racing performance, exhilaration, all inside the vehicle, regardless of which car you're driving, right? So even this car is big, it's spacious, it feels like a little bit sluggish at first gear. It still packs, it still performs, right? Especially, after we do this turn, I'm gonna punch this car on Sport Plus mode, and you hear how great this V6 sound in this Porsche Cayenne. I don't really expect it when I'm looking at this car on the exterior that it can deliver this kind of excitement for me, right? I mean, I look at this car as a family SUV, to be honest. And oh, super smooth. And that was just on the automatic mode. And if I get another chance, I'm gonna see how the paddle shifters respond whenever I punch this car, right? And so effortlessly, I'm already at 110 kilometers. And with Porsche vehicles, they will never let you feel like that you have a lack of acceleration or reaching it to a desired speed. And that's what I love about Porsches. And just take the X5 or any of the X series BMWs, even though the price point isn't there, you have to really punch the throttle, and then slowly you'll feel that you're getting up to speed, right? So just even the tap on the throttle on any Porsche vehicle, I'm already at 120, 110. So the speed limit is actually a kryptonite for Porsche vehicles, because you probably won't be able to follow any speed limit when you're driving Porsches, right? So, and the best thing, this is my absolute favorite feature across any Porsche vehicle, is the steering wheel, right? They've actually done something that I don't think any other manufacturer really done or performed or crafted or perfected. I just love how it fits onto my hand, and it keeps my hand engaged, especially with this groove over here on right behind or right below where your thumb is. This is where additional fat onto your hand, and it fits perfectly onto my hands, keeping both hands engaged. And I think with any manufacturer that, you know, will encourage you or will make you want to put both hands on the wheel and keep you engaged on the road, they've done something tremendous that no other manufacturer can even come close to. And that's what I really appreciate about Porsches. I don't really feel that in any other vehicles. And even though this is leather wrapped steering wheel, other manufacturers will have more of a soft leather, a little bit more spongy feel to the steering wheel, but this is actually all very hard. And I like that. It's firm, it's stiff, and of course, every time you do a little bit of turning, it's very precise as well. And going to the navigation or the center infotainment display system screen is very similar to the Porsche Panamera, right? This big glass connecting it to the big gauges. It has 5 gauges, by the way, in the center console, making it more in tune. And they want to create this kind of one-line surface on the interior of the Porsche Cayenne, right? So very elegant, especially with where my shift knob is. This all done in like a glass kind of finish, but I don't think it is glass per se. I'm not sure about the exact material. And the icons light up when you turn the car on, right? And what they did smartly, in my opinion, is that they put all the icons on here, and whatever package or equipment you choose to equip your car with in the Cayenne, it will illuminate on. And if you don't have it, you will see the icons, but it will never be able to, I guess, come on until you install that kind of equipment into your Cayenne. And what's great about this kind of center console over here, not only is it very simple and elegant to look at, it'll make you feel like when you touch it, the button kind of vibrates or kind of jolt back, respond back to your fingers, right? So let me turn on that heated seats, and you can hear that clicking sound, right? So you know you've selected the button versus a touch screen. You touch it and then you kind of second guess yourself or doubt whether you actually touched the button or not, right? So this kind of feedback or vibration or whatever pushback on the buttons, I think they've done a tremendous job. And I know for a fact, whatever activities I've selected from, I've done it because I got the response back from it, right? And other designs over here that completes the elegance is kind of the aluminum buttons over here with different grooves that feels pretty nice onto your fingers that I first found in the BMW X2 M35. So I love it when I have different textured on top of the aluminum buttons, making my fingers a little bit more sensitive, creating a little bit more feedback to it. I guess when you look at Porsches and kind of understand why the price tag is the way it is, you have to look at the small details, and then you begin to realize, okay, here's where they win brownie points. Here's where it's different than other manufacturers, right? And I don't think there's any cheap elements inside the interior or the exterior of the Porsche Cayenne that makes you feel like, you know what, this car isn't worth 120 grand. This car isn't worth 90K. I'm gonna go to BMW or Audi or Mercedes to get some of their SUVs, right? So it definitely fits in for whoever really understands all the small details what Porsche did. And like I said in all of my videos, just because your car has navigation, it will rank different tiers, right? Just looking at the resolution and how big the screen is, it makes me want to use navigation versus, let's say, my Corolla, for example, right? Just for example, I know it's no comparison. I would want to use my Apple CarPlay's navigation versus the Corolla because the resolution from the software technology for Toyota, it just wasn't on par, right? So anything with Porsche did, they probably won't even release it until they've reached to a level of perfection. And you can find navigation on the center console where your gauges are and at the heads-up display. And when you display the navigation where your gauges are, you will actually take over 2 gauges instead of 1, so it actually looks very big and nice to look at as well. So I wouldn't even have a preference of where I want to look at the navigation. I look at here, at my heads-up display, and all look crisp, sharp, and the resolution is beyond 4K, right? So we're about 10 more minutes until we reach to our destination. And to be honest, guys, this entire drive gave me a feeling of comfort. This 8-speed automatic transmission delivers more of a smoother shift. And when I need to go off ramp or when I need to pass a vehicle, I can just kick it in Sport Plus mode, and passing a vehicle isn't even an issue in this car. So the all-new Cayenne definitely delivers a lot more improvement versus the previous generation of the Cayenne. And I think with the right amount of equipment, I wouldn't want to go with a turbo option. I think the Cayenne S does enough job for you and your family, and also delivers a lot of a fun experience when you're driving solo, right? The turbo, it just kicks ass, to be honest. And for the first time ever in 2019, the kind of bucket hugging style seats extends all the way to the second row, so your passengers can experience the same kind of secureness when you take on those tight corners, so you don't have to really enjoy this car by yourself. Carry a load of passengers and everybody will be having a good time. So as you can see, we just got stuck on the Lake Simcoe. There's about 2 foot deep of snow. So we had these wonderful gentlemen from Mitch's Fish Hut to push the car out, right? So even though we tried different diff lock on the off-road options, it didn't work, probably primarily because we didn't have winter tires and we weren't able to take off the traction control. So then we put the car on Sport Plus mode, took off the traction control, and we just punched the car out. It was fun exiting the car, but I wouldn't drive the car in again without some proper tires and making sure we have available bodies on hand to push the car out if needed, right? So overall, pretty capable, all-wheel drive, pretty good, but this kind of setup, I wouldn't recommend on more of the northern or more of the deeper snow here in Canada. And interestingly enough, this car, even though it's off-road, doesn't offer a snow mode option. Maybe in Germany or Stuttgart, they don't have that option, but it snows there, right? Do people ever come in here and take the car out to just do test drives and all that stuff?
Not so much test drives, but there's guys that, so the island there, there's a few like residents that live there all the time.
Okay.
So they need some form of transportation there, you know,
okay.
When the ice conditions are, you know, a foot or less.
Right.
They'll take snowmobiles and that when the conditions are good enough to, you know, these trucks here would go to and from the island there.
So do these trucks ever get stuck?
Yeah, there are times when they get stuck, I'm sure, but yeah, they're aggressive driving, yeah.
Yeah, what about the fish huts?
The bombardiers?
Yeah, bombardiers?
Yeah, they, like, we don't get them stuck. Like, you know,
nice.
We can run in 2 and 3 feet of snow.
Nice.
Yeah, because they're...
That's freaking awesome. Hopefully we'll review one of that in the future.
The suspension.
Yeah.
That's 1950 for you, though.
We are finally on the 404 South back home. We caught 5 fish today, not bad for my first time. Thank you. And we're going to off the off-ramp over here. I'm gonna kick that in Sport Plus mode. And we're gonna finally try the paddle shifters and see how well it responds, right? Okay, way too fast. I'm at 150 already. And I'm just simply, I was a little bit too scared to put my entire foot on the throttle because I know this car will fly, right? So just even that little bit of acceleration over there, already 150 kilometers an hour. So pretty cool, and handling on the corners or the curves going off the off ramp, very easy, minimum body rolls, and the whole overall suspension is stock suspension, I believe. I need to check the papers later on that they printed for me, but there is Porsche's active suspension management system, I believe, or adaptive dampening system, which will make this car even more softer over potholes. But the stock suspension on this car feels quite nice. Again, comfort is the orientation for this vehicle. Then again, it's a Porsche Macan. Then again, it's a Porsche Cayenne. You don't have the PDK option for the transmission, so more so in tune with the family type or the cabin that we're having today with some passengers in the back. And we did manage to fit all the things that we needed today in the rear trunk. And what's interesting in the rear trunk that we found is this little pouch with a liter of oil. So maybe it's hinting us that if you're driving on Sport Plus mode or launching this car or driving it pretty aggressively throughout the gears, you may burn a little bit of oil, so you can be always prepared. I'm not sure, but very interesting to see Porsches will be having their own little pouch with the rear engine oils in it, right? So interesting. I did notice that on both sides, on the front cabin, we both have grab handles for the driver and the passenger, just in case you feel like the car's gonna tip over at sharp corners, or you're driving like me super aggressively, you feel very unsafe or whatever, you can hold on to the car. It won't make a difference, but very nice to place your hands. But I fully trust this car, but then again, I know this car, so if I were to take this car with my mom and I punch this car, she would be probably grabbing onto this grab handles over here. So pretty nice design, a little bit nice touch for the center compartment. And you can also access your assistance system in the center dash. And you can see Porsche Active Save, Lane Keep Assist, Lane Change Assist. What I love about this technology is that versus the one we Tesla and BMW, it waits until the last seconds and it pulls you back super aggressively. But the technology in this car is that if it detects that you're slowly approaching the other lane, before it even gets to even that far or that deep, it will be already pushing you back or pulling you towards the lane center, right? Kind of like the lane centering assist versus the lane keep assist. Same kind of concept, but very different execution, right? So, and pairing that with the cruise control, you can probably make your car somewhat autonomous, and you can find the cruise control right behind the steering wheel, which is, I find that very unique. Usually cruise control is found on the other left or right hand of the steering wheel, but Porsche's steering wheel is pretty simple as you can see it. And then again, why would I even use the cruise control, right? For a car that keeps being engaged regardless of the situation, I don't think I'll be ever even using the cruise control. And maybe that's the reason, right? Maybe that they hid it behind the steering wheel and people don't really use it if you drive Porsches. So that's all from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the review and the cinematic we did for the 2019 Porsche Cayenne S. I want to give a quick thank you to Porsche, Center North Toronto, for letting me experience this wonderful vehicle, and our friends who helped us get out of the snow and our sticky situation from Mitchell's Fish Huts. Oh, I am so pooped. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. I can't even speak right now. Subscribe to us, and I will see you on a brand new episode of Cold Start next Saturday.